Hey folks, Jamie here. Thank you for tuning in. Before we get started, I would like for you to take a moment and go down below and hit the like and subscribe buttons. Maybe leave a comment. If you're really feeling generous, maybe share this video to your social media feeds. What that does is make it a lot easier for other people to find a moment of Tiki. I really appreciate it and it helps out a lot. Thanks. Now, on with the show. Welcome to another episode of A Moment of Tiki, coming to you from the Lagoon of Mystery, my home tiki bar here in Central Texas. Today, I am going to talk about Ritual Rum Alternative. Now, you may be thinking right now, wait a minute, Jamie, Ritual Rum Alternative, that sounds like a non-alcoholic cocktail alternative. Why don't you save that for something like Dry January or Dry July, sometime when it'll tie in with the theme of the time period the episode's going to air? You would not be wrong. But here's the thing. I do these as the ideas come to me, kind of by the seat of my pants, and I don't really plan out all that much. So this is where we are today. If you want professionalism, you probably ought to tune into, Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour or something like that, because this is all seat of the pants right here. None of that professional camera work or anything like that. So, Ritual Rum Alternative is a zero-proof spirit that's marketed, and the company that puts it out has a line of, I believe, bourbon and gin and other alcohol-free alternatives. Looking here on the label, it says flavor notes of Madagascar vanilla, molasses star anise, ripe banana, bitter orange, Tupelo honey, toasted cinnamon, fresh ginger, clove, charred apricot. Well, that sounds pretty good. It also has a tag on here, says it's a gold medal winner 2020 best non-alcoholic spirit from the beverage testing awards. So take that as it is. Proof's in the pudding though, so let's see how this stuff tastes. Pours nice. The glass has an amberish color that would be not inappropriate for a lightly aged rum. Smell some sugars, notes of honey, a lot of honey notes, a little sharpness there. That's interesting. It's very thin on the palate. It's very thin up front. By the back of the palate, it gets more viscous. It's odd texture. It's watery that increases its thickness and density as it progresses through the mouth. There's notes of honey, some cinnamon, lots of vanilla, some toffee, caramel, and there is a burn in the back of the throat. There's capsaicin in here, the oil that is found in hot peppers, chili peppers, that creates that hot burning sensation. It's interesting because I don't know about chili heads out there. I make my own salsa and have tried a whole bunch of different types of peppers of varying hotness, but usually you get that burn up front and it continues down the throat, and this doesn't really have much of an upfront burn. It saves it for the throat, which I find interesting. There is some citrus in here. It's interesting because it doesn't taste like rum. It tastes like all of the flavor notes that one picks up when tasting rum. So the big center point right here, this is the flavor of rum, and you have all the little satellite tasting notes. Well, they're nailing a lot of these satellite tasting notes, but it doesn't necessarily have that distinctive rum flavor, and that's interesting. It says there's 2 grams of sugar per serving, which is interesting because it tastes a little sweeter than that. Only 10 grams per calorie. It says you don't have to refrigerate this, but it's good for up to 6 months after opening. So this isn't something that you would sit around sipping neat. And they don't recommend it. Looking on their website, it's designed as a rum alternative for cocktails. So in light of that, let's put it to the test. And when you are making a cocktail to test a new rum, what type of cocktail do you make? If you said daiquiri, give yourself a pat on the back, because that's what we're going to do. We are going to put this rum alternative through its paces by making a daiquiri. It'll be interesting to see how it holds up, because we've already established it's not a sipper. So we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of lime. Ooh, juicy. And that is 1/2 ounce, and we need 1/4 ounce more. Quarter ounce. Now, need syrup. Use Demerara. We're going to do 1/4 ounce in here. It's a little bit stronger sweet syrup than a regular 1-to-1 simple syrup. I like Demerara flavor better. And 2 ounces of the Ritual Rum Alternative. Interesting how they don't say rum substitute, even though their recommendations are 1-to-1 substitute. Nice corked bottle. And shake. Now be aware that because there is no alcohol in here, you're not going to get the ice melt and dilution you normally would. So, maybe give it a little extra shake just to increase that dilution a little more and lower that temperature. Now let's see what we come up with. See, you're not getting as much volume with this because you're not getting that ice dilution. So you might have to adjust the recipe a little bit if you or your guests want a daiquiri that is equivalent to the traditional serve. Let's say about 1/4 less than would normally get. This is a interesting flavor. It's much more appealing than straight. And it's very citrus forward. Got the caramel. I'm still not picking up any molasses notes. And there's very honey. There's honey overtones. Lots of vanilla. The Demerara and the lime in the daiquiri mesh very well. It blends very well together. Now, color-wise, this may look like a daiquiri. It does not taste like a daiquiri. It doesn't taste like a fruit punch. It doesn't taste overly sweet. I mean, you still get a little bit of that throat burn from the capsaicin oils in here. It's toasty, little bits of cinnamon, some gingerbread. Again, not overly sweet. No, this is a pleasant cocktail. It's a pleasant something to drink, and I can see myself drinking this. Now, here's the thing. I firmly believe that all tiki bars, be they home tiki bars or professional bars, or all bars in general, should have non-alcoholic options for their patrons who aren't drinking. And it doesn't matter why they're not drinking. They could be sober and going out with their friends, because who doesn't like to socialize? They could be pregnant. They could be on medication. They could be having to work tomorrow and just not being able to imbibe in cocktails. Point is, it doesn't matter. But they should not have to subsist on a glass of Sprite or a can of Coke or something like that, because the host could not be bothered to go the extra effort to let them enjoy the experience with everyone else. If you go into a tiki bar and ask for a non-alcoholic cocktail, which is, my wheelhouse, going to a tiki bar, you don't want a glass of Sprite with a cherry thrown in it. Come up with a garnish, come up with a non-alcoholic cocktail, come up with something that lets them experience the pageantry, the whole song and dance. I mean, because theatricality is what sets tiki bars apart, and you want to let them have that experience. And if you do a good job, a non-alcoholic cocktail can be quite tasty. You give them enough sensory experience, they're not going to be focusing on the fact that there's no alcohol in it. And you give someone this, they're really not going to focus on the fact that there's no alcohol in it. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised or duped or fooled into thinking, but they're going to say, this is not a bad drink. But it certainly isn't rum. Something like this for your non-drinking friends, I think they would appreciate it. I think they would not be put off. And even for your drinking friends, if they've had several and want to take a little time out before trying that third cocktail, well, this would be a good interim for them. Yeah, this could really grow on me. So, from the Lagoon of Mystery, until next time, aloha.